I grew up in the Soviet Union and fell in love with math early. I was forced into math early and fell in love through force.
That's good. Well, good that you fell in love. What about the force?
Well, but there something we talked about a little bit is there's such a value for excellence. It's competitive, and it's also everybody kind of looks up. The definition of success is being in a particular class is being really good at it. And like it's not improving, it's like being really good. I mean, we are much more like that with sports, for example. We're not, it's like it's understood, you're going to star on the basketball team if you're going to start on the basketball team if you're going to be better than the other guys, the other girls on the team. So that coupled with the belief, this could be partially a communist belief, I don't know, but the belief that everybody is capable of being great. But if you're not great, that's your fault. And you need to work harder. And I remember I had a sense that, probably delusional, but I could win a Nobel Prize. I don't even know what that entails. But I thought, my dad early on told me just offhand, and it always stuck with me, that if you can figure out how to build a time machine, how to travel back in time, it will probably give you a Nobel Prize. And I remember early in my life thinking, I'm going to invent a time machine. And like the tools of mathematics were in service of that dream of winning the Nobel Prize. And it's silly. I didn't really think in those concrete terms, but I just thought I could be great. That feeling. And then when you struggle, the belief that you could be great is like, struggle is good.
Right, pushes you on, yeah.
And so the other thing about the Soviet system that you'd love to hear your comments about is just the sheer like hours of math, like the number of courses. You're talking about a lot of geometry, a lot more I think in the American system you take maybe 1 year of geometry
in high school. Yeah,
in high school. First of all, geometry is beautiful, it's visual, and then you get to reason through proofs and stuff like that. In Russia, I remember just being nailed over and over with geometry. It was just nonstop. And then of course there's different perspectives on calculus, and just the whole the sense was that math is like fundamental to the development of the human mind. So math, but also science and literature, by the way, was also hit very hard. Like we read a lot of serious adult stuff. America does that a little bit too. They challenge young adults with good literature, but they don't challenge adults very much with math.
With math.
So those two things, valuing excellence and just a lot of math in the curriculum. Do you find that interesting? Because it seems to have been successful.
I think that's very interesting. And there is a lot of success, people coming through the Soviet system. I think something that's very different to the US and other countries in the world is that idea that excellence is important and you can get there if you work hard. In the US, there's an idea that excellence is important, but then kids are given the idea in many ways that you can either do it or you're one of the people who can't. So many students in the school system think they're one of the kids who can't. So there's no point in trying hard because you're never going to get there. So if you can switch that idea, it would be huge. And it seems from what you've said that in the Soviet Union, that idea is really different. Now, the downside of that idea that anybody can get there if you work hard is that thought that if you're not getting there, it's your fault. And I would add something into that. I would say that anybody can get there, but they need to work hard and they also need good teaching. Right. Because there are some people who really can't get there because they're not given access to that good teaching. So, but that would be huge, that change. As to doing lots of maths, if maths was interesting and open and creative and multidimensional, I would be all for it. We actually run summer camps at Stanford where we invite kids in and we give them this maths that I love. And in our camp classrooms, they were 3 hours long. And when we were planning, the teachers were like, 3 hours? Are we going to be able to keep the kids excited for 3 hours? Turned out they didn't want to go to break or lunch. They'd be so into these mathematical patterns. We couldn't stop them. It was amazing. So yeah, if maths was more like that, then I think having more of it would be a really good thing.
So what age are you talking about? Is there could you comment on what age is like the most important when people quit math or give up on themselves or on math in general, and perhaps that age or something earlier is really important moment for them to discover, to be inspired to discover the
Yeah.
magic of math.
I think a lot of kids start to give up on themselves and maths around from about 5th grade. And then those middle school years are really important.
Wow.
And 5th grade can be pivotal for kids just because they're allowed to explore and think in good ways in the early grades of elementary school. But 5th grade teachers are often like, okay, we're going to prepare you now for middle school and we're going to give you grades and lots of tests. And that's when kids start to feel really badly about themselves. And so middle school years, our camps are middle school students. We think of those years as really pivotal. Many kids in those years are deciding, yes, I'm going to keep going with STEM subjects, or no, I'm not, that this isn't for me. So, I mean, all years are important. And in all years, you can kind of switch kids and get them on a different pathway. But I think those middle school years are really important.